All right, what's up, guys? Going live. Another episode of Sexual Mastery. Welcome. I'm Jonathan White. As always, I'm here to help you master your sexual energy so you can magnetize your ideal life. So, today, I'm going to be talking about overcoming premature ejaculation. So, this is a big issue worldwide. Most men do not last as long as they would like to. And, I say this all the time. Statistically, globally, men last about 4 minutes during sex before ejaculating. Now, this is not a very long period of time. Excuse me. And most women take much longer than this to become, well, fully aroused and capable of having an orgasm. So we have this epidemic of men who are unable to please their partners, basically. So there's many factors to this. I'm going to be breaking it down, what these are. Let me bring up. Okay, so the number one issue when it comes to premature ejaculation is, hello from Houston. Hey, Leo, how's it going? Hello from Boise, Idaho. So the number one issue in regards to premature ejaculation is hypertension. Hypertension in the nervous system. Sympathetic nervous system is active and can't let go. So we have the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. The parasympathetic is active when we're calm, we're relaxed, we're breathing deeply, we're grounded, we're relaxed, we feel safe and calm. Sympathetic nervous system is active when we're fight or flight mode, stressed out, not getting enough sleep, we're on edge, we're afraid. This is when our sympathetic nervous system is activated. So the ejaculation response, the ejaculatory response is a function of the sympathetic nervous system, which means that when you're on edge, when you're tense, when you're stressed, you're much more likely to have that ejaculatory response. So I, in my opinion, this is one of the main reasons that there's so many men suffering from premature ejaculation is because we're in such an overstimulated world, stressed out, people are unable to wind down, to calm down, to relax. So being able to keep yourself calm in the parasympathetic state is really crucial for developing ejaculatory control. So what are some good ways to do this? Spend some time in nature, spend some quiet time, somewhere peaceful, it'll help you to shake off stress from your day, from work, from whatever. Spend some quiet time every day. Breathe deeply, deep belly breathing. This is my number one recommendation to all guys is learn to focus on your breath during sex, during sexual stimulation. You'll often find that during when you're highly aroused, when you're having sex, whatever, that your breath becomes shallow and often very quick, and it often rises up into the chest as well. So what you want to do is relax, deep belly breaths, deep, slow belly breaths. And this helps you to stay parasympathetic, stay calm, keep that arousal under control. Try it. You might be surprised at how effective this alone is. And of course, there's other methods as well. So another thing I'm finding, one of the causes of premature ejaculation, of course I said hypertension, but specifically hypertension in the pelvic floor. Really tense PC muscles. Everyone's crazy about Kegel exercises, which, it's great to have it's important to have a strong pelvic floor, but you need to be able to relax that pelvic floor as well. When the PC muscle is connected to the sympathetic nervous system, so when you're constantly squeezing it, when you're not letting it relax and let go, then you're going to find that can actually increase your premature ejaculation. And this is the primary techniques that I was learning and using for years was simply, contract the PC muscle harder and harder. But what I found in the past about a year or so of my practice is that I've been experimenting with more relaxed methods, and I'm having really great results with them, completely relaxing the PC muscle. And this is what I'm teaching, in my updated multi-orgasmic man course next month. But just to give you some insights on this, see if you can keep your pelvic floor, we'll just notice it throughout the day. Focus on relaxing your pelvic floor completely. We often hold a lot of tension here. So see if you can just completely relax this area. And also during sex or self-stimulation, it's good to practice these things on your own, as long as you don't ejaculate, or at least avoid it. So see if you can handle sexual stimulation without tensing up the pelvic floor. And what you'll find is that often there's this sort of involuntary response to, especially around the frenulum area of the penis, which is, this is your penis head, this is the frenulum, it's the underside. It's very, very sensitive. And typically stimulation here kind of triggers this involuntary squeezing of the PC muscle. So notice that, and see if you can relax into that. And just to give you some further insight onto this, doing reverse Kegels, where you're basically pushing down on the pelvic floor. So it's like you have to pee and you're pushing it out. That kind of stretch out your pelvic floor and can really help you to relax it. And so that's a great way to keep your pelvic floor relaxed as well. But that's been a huge game changer for me, realizing that going crazy with Kegels can actually do you more harm than good. Now, I still do Kegels, I still do them, but I'm doing reverse Kegels as well and doing a lot to keep my pelvic floor relaxed. And when I'm having sex, I'm completely keeping my PC muscle relaxed. And so that's, kind of an insight on how my practice has evolved and what I'm teaching now. And I go way in depth into this stuff in my courses. So, so yeah, it's really about being able to keep calm, be in control of your energy, and stay grounded. South America, hey, what's up, brother? So yeah, premature ejaculation. It's a very common thing, guys. You may feel like if you're suffering from this, that you're the only one, that there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. This is actually very, very normal, and the majority of guys are actually not lasting very long in bed. So there's nothing wrong with it. Don't be embarrassed about it. It's just what it is. But you can work to make it better. I did this. Anyone can do it. I used to ejaculate pretty quickly, and through training, it just takes training. You just have to change your habits. This is another large aspect of the ability to last longer in bed, is that our sexual habits are the results of our masturbation habits, pretty much, typically for men. And most of us in our teenage years, we were just watching porn, masturbating, maybe we were afraid our mom was going to come in at any time, so we did it as fast as possible. Well, when you're bringing yourself very, very quickly to ejaculation, that becomes a habit, that becomes ingrained, and so you associate sexual stimulation with, okay, well, this means I must ejaculate in a few minutes. So that's a very common thing for men that I'm finding. Delhi, India, welcome, brother. Thanks for joining. So it's important that you undo these habits, and so an important part of this is just training with yourself. Training with your own sexual response. Can you stimulate yourself? Can you stay relaxed? Can you breathe? Focus on your breath. These are the primary things you should focus on. It's not, the sensations in your penis, but are you relaxed? Is your belly relaxed? Is your pelvic floor relaxed? Can you surrender and relax into that arousal and that sexual pressure that's building? So this is huge. And being able to draw out that sexual arousal, not just going right over the edge into ejaculation, but drawing it out, hovering, around the lower. So there's like, on a scale of 1 to 10 of pleasure, like 1 being, nothing's happening, 10 being you're ejaculating. Well, that's not really the pleasure scale, because the pleasure scale goes much higher than ejaculation, but 1 to 10 between, non-arousal and ejaculation. So you want to hover around, no more than 7 or 8, and see if you can hold that frequency, keep from going over the edge. So instead of plowing over the edge in an ejaculatory orgasm, you're able to just ride those lower edges of arousal and stay relaxed into that, which is how you really build up to higher and higher levels of orgasm, full body orgasm. Avoiding things like caffeine, if you can, if you drink a lot of coffee, you might be constantly taxing your kidneys and overstressing your nervous system, so you're constantly in this jittery sympathetic nervous system state. So if you can kind of cut back on stimulants, you'll find yourself feeling a lot more relaxed, and you can naturally energize yourself, with practices like breath work, yoga, qigong. I do qigong every morning, and it keeps me supercharged. And I don't drink coffee, I don't drink caffeine or anything. And I'm much more calm and relaxed and balanced because of it. So that's another high recommendation. Keep yourself healthy. There's many factors for premature ejaculation. Having weak kidneys can be one of them. In Chinese medicine, kidneys are considered the battery of the body. They're related to our sexual vitality, and if you have weak kidney energy, then that can also lead to sexual dysfunction. So take care of your kidneys. You can do this by, again, quiet time. The kidneys like yin, quiet time, meditation, qigong, yoga, eating certain herbs, taking a Chinese kidney yin formula. So these are some suggestions and things that you can use right away to start controlling your ejaculation better. And it just takes training. It really does. You know, if you want to get better at something, you have to practice it. So practice sexual stimulation, practice staying relaxed, staying calm, and focusing on your breathing during sexual stimulation. And, you know, it's enjoyable. So that's basically what it takes. And when you're on your game, you'll be confident. You know, you'll go into a situation with a potential partner with this confidence, knowing that you can contain yourself during sex. And this confidence carries over into all aspects of your life, because often our how we feel about our sexual ability is how we feel about just about everything else in our life. So when you know that you're on your highest game in the bedroom, then you're going to be really confident in other areas of your life as well. So these are my suggestions for overcoming premature ejaculation. All right, so some people ask questions. I'm going to go through the questions right now. Feel free to send any questions at me. If I can just bring up the chat. For the microcosmic orbit, does the energy go up my spine or down the front side of my body during the inhale specifically? You know, it's not important. Like if you're inhaling with the energy up or exhaling with the energy up, you can do both. You know, there's really no right or wrong way with this. Some teachers would be really rigid, like, no, you have to do it this way. But what I found is either way works. You know, just practice with both and see what feels most natural for you. How long does my morning Qigong take? Well, I have a pretty lengthy routine right now. I spend about 2 hours in the morning doing my practice. I started with about 15 minutes a day, you know, 10 to 15 minutes. And as my training developed, as I learned more and more things, you know, I got really hooked and was like, you know, I have a pretty lengthy daily routine now. But it's not like forced. It's not like, oh, I have to do this. I spend that much time training, doing Qigong, doing practice because I love it. So it was an organic growth from 15 minutes a day to 2 to 3 hours a day now. Any other questions? Feel free to send them to me. Have you noticed if this practice affects your dream life? Good question. So I used to be really into lucid dreaming, which is a really phenomenal thing. But yes, seeing your attention, sexual cultivation, doing qigong and things like that can affect your dream life as well, because you're much more lucid in your life. You know, you're much more aware. Your energy flow is much more balanced, and you're able to charge yourself up. You know, you're not in depleted mode, so your sleep is much more efficient. Therefore, you'll get to REM states of sleep when you're having dreams much quicker. And so yeah, I found that it definitely carries over into the dream world as well. Give you more energy to if you're doing lucid dreaming, you know, to cultivate those states of lucidity and things like that. Having a more powerful intention that carries over into things that you do. When will I see benefits from qigong? Well, you'll notice you'll probably feel much calmer when you do it. You know, when you start doing it, you just feel calmer, feel a little more balanced. You'll see benefits in a few days. For me, I liked it because in the very beginning, I would do qigong and I just felt really, really relaxed, really present, really in the moment. I felt really grounded. I just felt good. I felt balanced. And then as I got further into it, it becomes very, very powerful. In that you start to really feel the energy in your body. Like when I do qigong now, you know, I've been studying tai chi and some more internal martial arts kind of stuff, but it's like when I do qigong now, it feels like bolts of like lava, you know, magma like pulsing through my arms, just like really thick, tangible experience of energy. Very, very powerful. Am I going to do law of attraction videos in the future? Yeah, I might do some more. I did one on the law of attraction earlier this year, so maybe I'll do some more of those videos. Have you ever experienced any third eye activity, tingling in the center of brow, anything like that? Yeah, definitely. In my practice, what I'm teaching now, you know, I teach qigong and different exercises in my course. You start qigong practice by tuning into the Niwan point, which is the third eye point, which is actually directly in the center of the brain, you know, in line with the mid-brow, the yin tong point here in the mid-brow. Directly in from here, the crown of the head, straight in is the Niwan point, which is actually the third eye. you focus on this point, you just kind of wrap your awareness around it, almost like the hands of your mind. You just feel around it and just kind of like compress it, like you're squeezing it a little bit, and just feel this activate. And I begin my practice with this, and it's like it activates your energies practice where you bring sexual energy up to the third eye to supercharge it as well. So yeah, definitely experience that. I have a question. I am on semen retention for a month now. Sometimes when I get aroused, I have a pain in my testicles. Is it dangerous? What causes that? I am worried. So this is fairly normal, but it's not desirable. So basically blue balls is what you're talking about. I've made a video of this on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. I recommend you watch that. But basically, pain in the testicles means that things are stagnant. They're not moving. It's congested. So you want to get that energy moving, that sexual energy moving. And you can do this by working with the microcosmic orbit. Check out my videos on that. Learning testicle breathing. I have a guided audio on my website for like $2. Testicle breathing. Testicle breathing is the #1 remedy for blue balls because you circulate that energy out of the genitals. It diffuses it, and you don't have that congestion problem. I don't experience blue balls even when I'm having sex for hours because I can keep the energy moving. Does edging help prolong ejaculation? It depends on the way you're doing it. If you're just masturbating, not doing anything with that arousal, if you're just letting it all build up in the genitals, then you just stop and you have this buildup of energy there, it's not necessarily going to help you because now you just have this huge buildup of energy that is going to explode maybe the next time that you're sexually stimulated. But if you're doing what I mentioned earlier in this live video, if you're working with breathing, relaxing the pelvic floor, and especially if you're working with drawing the energy upwards through some of the various practices I teach, then yes, that's going to help you prolong ejaculation. So it's really about the method that you're using. Do you think fluoride in toothpaste is a big problem with third eye activation? Well, fluoride causes aluminum to deposit in your pineal gland, so I personally avoid fluoride products. And I don't drink tap water. I get purified water. Will the stream be uploaded later? Yes, it will be saved on my YouTube channel. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me as always. Good to be hanging out with you guys. Let's see. Yeah, Multi-Orgasmic Man is reopening soon. Huge updates. Lots of new things on the core. It's gonna be really great. Oh, I skipped your question. Let me look. Let's see what your question was. Yeah, I don't see a question from you. Can you repost it? If you were going to ejaculate before the point of no return. Oop. If you are going to ejaculate before the point of no return, if you contract the PC muscles and relax it several times, you can experience the orgasm without ejaculation. Yes, that's a method for very basic genital-based non-ejaculatory orgasm. In my experience, this is very limited, and the methods I'm teaching, you have much more powerful full-body orgasms instead of this little pulsation in genitals. But yeah, that's a basic method for experiencing. Best natural Viagra? Good question. There's some herbs that are helpful. Let me think here. For erections, anything that boosts your nitric oxide production, so like pumpkin seeds, what is it, arginine amino acid, that's really important for nitric oxide production. So pumpkin seeds, take goji berries. There's a plant called yohimbe. It's definitely nature's Viagra, but I have to warn you, it's extremely stimulating. I can't take this stuff because it makes my heart pound, even 12 hours after I've taken it and I can't sleep. But if you really need something like that, that could be helpful. Horny goatweed, epimedium as it's known, is a very good for erections, basically. How much time does it take to become multi-orgasmic? It depends how much you train, how ingrained you are in your sexual patterns, and how willing you are to change your habits. So I don't throw out timelines because it's different for everyone. But if you practice diligently, you will make results. Thanks, brother. All right, guys, I'm gonna jump off. Thanks for joining me. I will see you next week, same time, and Take care, my friends.